Hey, what's up? It's Jamie Michelle here again, back for another video. I am a master mindset coach and an energy expert, and in today's video, it's going to be all about what you can do and how how you can harness your inner power to really cultivate and create that feeling of safety, that feeling of total well-being, that total feeling of happiness, joy, bliss, euphoria, all of the things that you want to feel even in times of what's happening in the globe right now. Now, I want to preface this video and start off by, if you follow me on social media, then you know that I shared a very vulnerable moment with you on my stories last night, showing myself like actually literally bawling my eyes out like on the floor of my living room. And that's not because I'm like depressed or sad or like I'm filled with fear. It's just because I allowed myself to kind of feel into the energy of what's actually real in the world right now. And I want you to understand, I'm not denying that this thing is out there. I'm not denying that it's real. I'm not saying that it's not, very serious. It is. But what we have to remember is that we need to be so intentional, and I talk about this all the time, about what we're choosing to focus on. Because the minute we start focusing on all of that fear, we get sucked in and it overtakes our experience, and before we know it, we're in a tailspin going down a rabbit hole, not just being fearful about like getting this thing, but literally everything. We're afraid of obviously rejection, we're afraid of success, we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of being unwanted, we're afraid of abandonment. There are so many fears that we all have that if we get sucked into the fear of this, it's like your portal, you're opening to living in a state of fear all of the time. And I do not want you to go down that rabbit hole. Because here's the thing is, we live in a society that literally has conditioned us, and I've talked about this before, to believe that it's normal to feel that way, that it's normal to feel anxious all the time, that pain is like the standard. And that's a bunch of BS. It's a big fat lie that's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you small. But remember what I said about the subconscious mind that's like creating your entire reality. It's 90% of those thoughts are unconscious. We don't even know that we're having them. So to kind of understand like how in the world, when things are the way they are, when we're trapped in our homes, whether by choice or if you are, have contracted this thing, and even if you have contracted it, you're gonna overcome it as long as you have the right mindset and belief system and know that you're already healed. Know that you're already healed. I'm not going to go into that today. I'll do a different video on like health and healing and all that stuff. Because if you don't know anything about my story, I healed my own body from a myriad of things. And so, but getting back to the topic at hand, when everyone around us is in such a panic, that energy, remember, we pick up on that. We're energetic beings. Everything is created with energy. And so we can feel. Certain people are more sensitive than others. It's called being empathetic, but we can all feel, because we're all connected. We can all feel when someone's angry. We can feel when someone's upset, sad, because like when you walk into a room, if you walk into a room and there's just been like a massive argument or like fight between two people, you can like feel the tension in the room. That's what I'm talking about. So if a bunch of people are in panic, you can feel it. And that's what I was feeling last night. And that's what I shared with you on my stories when I was like bawling in a ball on my living room floor. Because when we start to feel that, here's the thing, you have to acknowledge that it's real. That's the first step to changing your reality. Because what we end up doing, it's like human tendency to start fighting against it, to say, no, I'm not like accepting this. Like this is not how I want things to be. So I'm just gonna like pretend that it's not real and go and do all this other stuff and just like push this under the rug, right? We sweep it under the rug, we stick it down in a box real tight, we bury it and put sand on top of it and then more sand, then bricks, and so no one can ever get to it. But that's like only building up more tension in your entire body, and it's creating more painful experiences in your life. We can't hold on to those negative, low vibrating emotions. And we're taught the opposite of that. Like in our society, like I was saying before, we live in a world that has not only conditioned us to believe that like pain and suffering and being anxious all the time and stressed out and overwhelmed is normal. And if you're not doing that, if you're not feeling that way, then you're not doing enough, there's something wrong with you. We're also taught that feeling our emotions and being honest about like if we're upset is bad. So we bottle it all up because we all just want to be loved and accepted. That's it. That's the bottom line. You know, forget about health for a minute. We want to be happy. We want to be loved. We want to feel loved, and we want to feel wanted and accepted. And we will do anything. Everything that we do is to feel a certain emotion. So we will do anything to perceive ourselves as like feeling accepted, feeling loved, feeling wanted, even if it means being something that we're not, even if it means bottling up all of our feelings, saying we're fine when we're actually not fine, because we don't want someone else to feel uncomfortable because we are uncomfortable. That's what we're taught to do from a very young age. And it's not our parents' fault because their parents taught them and their parents taught them. You know, it's like it's all been passed down. We're all only always doing the very best we can given what we know, given our experiences, given how, you know, we were raised and our beliefs. Like everyone is just doing the best they can. So don't go like blaming mom and dad or like Aunt Sue for raising you like and instilling these things in you. It's not anyone's fault. All you have to know is that you have the power to change it right now. So if you have all of these fears in you, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling fearful, overwhelmed, angry, guilty, whatever it might be, allow yourself to feel it. Just feel it, because the emotions that you're feeling are not you. The thoughts that you're thinking are not you. They're not who you are. You know, if you have the thought that like, oh gosh, I don't know. If you have the thought that maybe like, let's say you have like a job interview or something and you have the thought that, oh, what if this like, you know, goes really great? Or what if it, like those thoughts, what if it goes horribly wrong? What if I mess up? Like that's not you. You are not someone who like always messes up. Does that make sense? Did I say it? I get these like messages and it's hard to kind of put them in words sometimes. So if any of this is unclear, please let me know, leave a comment, send me a DM, whatever. And I'll do my best to kind of like explain what I mean. But understanding that you are not your emotions, your identity is not what you feel, it's not what you do, it's not what you think, it's not what you say, it's not your past. And it's not what's your current situation is not who you are. You are so much bigger. Like, and when I was working with women with body image issues, like we are so identified with our bodies, with this physical like thing that we are living this life in. And that's not who we are either, you know? We are our morals, we are our values, we are our beliefs, we are our spirit, our soul, you know, our connection to God and a higher power and everyone else, you know, like we are love, essentially, is the point that I'm getting to here. So when we don't allow ourselves to feel the emotions that we're feeling and we don't acknowledge that it's real and we just sweep it under the rug, guess what that ends up doing? It just ends up creating more tension in your body because they get stored there. They don't just like go away. It's not like you shove them down and they like go away. They stay there. And not only do they stay there, but they fester because they just need to be, it's just energy. It's just an energetic exchange that's going through your body that needs to be processed out. That's all it is. But we're taught to believe that if we feel angry and if we express our anger in a healthy way, don't confuse aggression with anger. Like kicking someone's ass is not a healthy way to express anger. Screaming into a pillow or kickboxing or like punching your bed, I don't know, is a healthy way. You know, movement, using your voice, scream, like not at someone else, just like in the privacy of your own home or your car or whatever it might be. Those are healthy ways to express anger. But we are all taught that being angry is like a bad thing because it was like a traumatic experience when we were little if someone was angry at us, you know? So knowing that we're all conditioned to believe, like women are always told, you know, you're so sensitive, why do you cry all the time? Like I still get that, you know what I mean? And men are taught, you know, be a man, don't show any like weakness, like when you cry, it's weak, it's, you know, you're not a man. Where all of these beliefs are literally infiltrated and like hardwired right now into our subconscious brain and it's running our lives. So even if we do feel a little bit of like discomfort, we just pretend that everything's fine. We ignore it. We move forward and like act like it's no big deal. Like I'm good. I'm cool. Nothing's wrong. When you do that, it's energy that gets stuck in your body, and then the more it lowers vibration is obviously something that I talk about a lot in terms of energy, because that's the work that I do. So everything has a vibration to it, and those lower vibrating emotions like they get stuck in our bodies, like anger, sadness, fear. They get stuck if we don't allow ourselves to feel them, if we don't acknowledge that they're real, and then they only end up lowering our vibration and attract more of that same experience so that we feel more of that, if that makes sense. So it's like once we have that in our bodies and we don't acknowledge that it's real and it's in there, and it starts to kind of like create a reality that invites more experiences to make us feel angry, to make us feel sad, depressed, lonely, anxious, stressed, overwhelmed. So and this is what I mean when I say like energy, my energy is my number one priority. It's like my most valuable asset. So last night when I shared that picture of myself like bawling on my floor, I did that intentionally so that you know that like I am committed. As soon as I feel something, I let myself like express it and like release it. It just needs to be released. So in this time of global panic where everyone's in like mass hysteria and freaking out and terrified and afraid to leave their homes, and it's my ultimate like vision to help you understand that you are always safe, always. But you have to be able to feel that. You have to be able to know that the true you, the real you, is actually knows that there is nothing bad. Like everything is light, everything is love. And I'm getting into like a little bit of spirituality stuff here, and I don't want to venture too far off, because I want you to stick with me here and follow my train of thought. But we have to understand that emotions of that nature and like the fear that's going on right now do not define who you are. And that goes for literally everything too. And when we are unaware of this, like this is why we all get so caught up in believing that we're not worthy, that we're not good enough, that, you know, there's someone else that could always do a better job than me, or they're like, you know, I don't deserve health, I don't deserve true love, I don't deserve happiness. That is not true. Like your natural state is all of that stuff. Your natural state is total health, is total wellness and thriving and financial abundance and true love and happy, like all of the things that we want. You know, that's your natural state. That's who you are. You are meant to have it. It's literally your birthright as a human being to experience that. But we're so conditioned to believe the opposite. We're so conditioned to believe that it has to be hard, that we have to struggle, and if we're not struggling, then we're not trying hard enough. And like we literally create our own, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We create our own hell on earth. And that's what so many of us are experiencing right now. And I don't want you to be stuck there, because all you have to understand is that you are the one that's put the bars around you. You are the one that's holding you down. And once you understand that it's all an illusion, like there's no barriers, there's no conditions for you to be happy except for the ones that you put on yourself. It's the truth. So whatever we believe to be true is going to be true. And I've talked about this in other videos too, and I'm sure there will be like so many videos that I do specifically on beliefs, because truly the beliefs and the attitudes that you have about everything is creating your reality. But those beliefs and those attitudes, they're thoughts, and thoughts can always be changed. So knowing that you can always change your mind, nothing is permanent, everything is temporary, and everything that's happening right now is all a big facade. It's all an illusion. And I don't want to go too far into this today with you. As my videos progress and we continue this journey together, I'm sure I will like go a little bit more deep into that, but I just want to keep things kind of like surface level right now so that you really understand what I'm saying. It's just knowing that going back to like the thought that you are so powerful, because whatever you choose to believe is what you end up creating for yourself. And we're not always aware that this is what's going on. Like there are so many things in life that are like, we're never in control. We have this like belief that, you know, we can control what happens to us. We can't. We like this whole thing that's happening right now, none of us, like the government wants to control it. We want to control it. We can do our part and like be smart about it. But ultimately, whatever is meant to be, whatever is like written in the divine, you know, plan for all of us, for all of humanity, cannot be stopped. We can't play God. We're not God. But we can see the miracles. We can see the beauty, because there are so many miracles in this. Like there are so many miracles. Like I could talk about this forever, but I want to stay focused on the topic. You know, we can't try to like fight against it, because that just creates friction and it makes everything so much harder. You know, the panic and the hysteria that everyone's feeling and feeding into right now is making this whole thing 10 million times worse. It's making things 10 million times worse. So what I want everyone to do that's watching this video, I just want you to take a deep breath. Just like, feel the stillness. I like have chills just from doing that. Like there is, like chill for a second. Just like be with yourself. Let everything go. Let the stress go. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't. Just worry about obviously yourself and like your immediate family, and make sure that you're focused on giving love, on feeling love. Because the more love we give, the more love we end up receiving. And that's all we all want, you know? So the mass hysteria and the media obviously is not helping, because they're actually like fueling the fire. Like the media and the news outlets like want this to happen. Like this is great for them, because everyone's stuck at home. They have no choice but to watch the news. But do you have a choice? Yeah, you always have a choice. You always have a choice on what you do, on what you feed your brain with, you know? And so the media is making this like so much more dramatic than it actually is. And I'm not, again, please know that I'm not saying that it's not real or serious. It is real, it is serious, and please be safe, and please understand like that we all play a part in helping this thing come to an end. And it is going to come to an end. Everything is temporary. But when you understand that you can actually choose what you're going to experience and feel, and what you're going to make things mean to you, which I talked about in the last episode, you can then shift from panic and fear into that feeling of like, everything is okay. Like no matter what happens, you are going to be just fine. You are safe. But we have to be able to know that our bodies are a safe place to be. And that's another thing. Like there are so few people who actually trust their bodies. And I'll do a whole other video on that, because we're getting to like 20 minutes and I don't want to go on too much longer. But the whole message behind this is feeling your emotions and acknowledging what's real for you in this moment is so critical. And it's so critical that you understand that those emotions are not who you are. They're not who you are. I was going to say your, and it came out like you, I don't know. You are like your truest, highest being, like your natural self is pure love, pure joy, like the highest vibrating, like that is who you are. But we're humans having a human, we are divine beings having a human experience. And with that human experience comes like experiencing all of the spectrum of the human emotions. Not getting identified with them, not allowing them to overtake our experience, and instead asking like, what is this here? Like, why am I feeling this? And what is it here to like teach me? Because everything is happening, remember, everything is happening for us. So if you're feeling a ton of panic and anxiety and fear, instead of just like playing into it and freaking out and letting your mind get the best of you and going down this like worst case scenario and being so fearful of like getting this thing and then dying, and that's where everyone's fear is at right now. It really is, and it's not helping. Instead of doing that, feel the anxiety, feel the stress, feel it, and ask, okay, what is it that I'm thinking about that's making me feel this way? Because thoughts are what end up create feelings. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings are what create the actions or the behaviors that we do. So we all are only acting either to feel a certain way or to not feel a certain way. You know, it's like we're either numbing out or we're seeking, like trying to fill an internal hole externally, and we can't do that. We can't do that. Understanding why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Like, what is the story that you're telling yourself? What is the make-believe like scenario that's going on in your head that's making you feel so terrified, that's making you feel so stressed, that's making you feel so anxious or so overwhelmed or whatever it might be? And ask yourself, is that even true? Like, these are the questions. Instead of just like accepting panic and fear as like what we are, start questioning it and asking like, okay, take it all the way to the end. Like, what's the worst thing that could actually happen? And is that even like possible? Because that's ultimately, anytime we're feeling like sad or fearful or, you know, stressed out or angry or like just like pissed off at the world, or we're like feeling low and we don't know why we're sad, we don't know why, it's always because there's some story, there's some like blueprint in your like, it's like a program in your brain that's running that we're not even aware of. So we have to ask, okay, well, what is the worst case scenario? Like, take it all the way to the end, you know? What is the worst, like, for so many things. I mean, we all have so many fears and of abandonment and a fear of like actually opening our heart for love and all these, you know, it's just amazing to me how we're so just like, we just accept those things as like our fate. And it's not, because you get to choose, you get to create. But taking it all the way to the end, playing it out, like, what is the absolute worst thing? If I get the coronavirus, what is the worst possible case scenario? And it's so interesting. I don't know if anyone else watches This Is Us. I didn't even realize that until just now. Randall Pearson, the one that was adopted, was at his therapist's office, and she was like asking him to like play out like what is the worst thing, like what would have happened if things would have gone differently, what is the absolute worst case scenario. And when you can actually take it all the way to the end, all the way to whatever it is, like, I'm gonna end up alone and sad for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna be such a loser, and I'm gonna have to like spend the rest of my life, you know, trying to prove to the world that I'm not a fraud. And you know, these are actually real thoughts that my clients have, that I have, that people have about themselves, that we don't even know that those are the ones that are running the show. So we're doing all of these things and running around like a chicken with our head cut off to try to prevent that thing from happening. But whatever we're focusing on, even if it's unconscious, is what we're gonna get. So the point here is just knowing that you are loved, you are accepted, you are important, you are wanted, you are divine, you are safe, and you are healthy, and you are already healed. You're already healed. Accept that as true and be aware of what you're feeling. And instead of feeding into it, ask why you're feeling that way, and then choose another state. Shift into the state of gratitude. I did a video, I think, on gratitude. It was either a video here or on my stories on gratitude. Like, that is the ultimate receiving state. When you can shift from fear into love and gratitude, like, your whole world changes, man. Acceptance, accept what's real, decide to be happy no matter what. Like, you can make this moment so beautiful, so perfect, so amazing, instead of feeling so terrified and so fearful and so, you know, just like all caught up in this shitstorm that's going on. You have the power in you. You alone have the power to counteract hundreds of thousands of negative fears and panic and worry and hysteria just by holding that thought and being intentional about knowing that you are safe and that it's all going to be okay, and that the only thing that exists is good. Like knowing those things alone should make you feel like, wow, I feel so much better, you know? So please let me know if this video was helpful in any way for you. I'm sending you so much love and healing and health and all of the light that I possibly can. Thank you for watching this video, and please, please, please let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what else you want to know about. I think for the remainder of like whatever is happening right now, I'm going to stick with like mindset and what I've been talking about, obviously health and happiness and all that stuff, because it's really important right now. It's really important. So, and know that you do play a serious critical role in helping the world heal and helping humanity, you know, come out on the other side. And there is another side. So, all right, that's it for today. Let me know what you want to hear from me in the future. More mindset, more confidence, more health, more fitness. I don't know. You just let me know, and I will talk to you later. Have an amazing week, and you are so powerful, man. You're so powerful. I promise. All right. See ya.